Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Millicent Walker. On the news this hour, hearing in the appeal filed by the national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, begins today at the appeal court in Abuja. And the ruling APC and the main opposition PDP trade words on the handling of the coronavirus matter in Nigeria. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah wins at the appeal court, retaining him as senator representing Anambra State in the Senate. Everyone to the program. We kick off from the courtroom this afternoon, where the appeal filed by the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, is set to be heard today at the appeal court Abuja. Last week, a three-man panel of the Court of Appeal, presided over by Justice Abubakar Yaya, ordered a stay of execution of the order of the FCT High Court suspending Mr. Adams Oshiomhole. The appellate court order was given pending the hearing and determination of the motion and notice filed by the APC national chairman. Also granted by the court is an order of interim injunction restraining the defendants from taking any action that will violate the order of stay execution granted by the court. At that sitting, the appeal court warned political parties to resolve their differences amicably without resorting to the courtroom. The hearing of the motion on notice is expected to start any minute. And still with court-related matters, this time is a judgment from the same Court of Appeal, where the court overturned the judgment of an Abuja High Court which removed Senator Ifeanyi Ubah of the Young People's Party YPP as the lawmaker representing Anambra South Senatorial District. In a unanimous decision by a three-man panel of justices led by Justice Stephen Adder, held that the April 11, 2019 judgment of the High Court was based on incompetent court processes predicated on an originating summons that was not duly signed by any legal practitioner as required by law. The court also awarded a cost of 250,000 naira against the plaintiff. And now the effect of the COVID-19 spread, which is the reason for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, postponing the conduct of by-elections scheduled to hold in Bayelsa Central, Bayelsa West Senatorial District, Imo North and Plateau South Senatorial Districts. This is confirmed in a statement from the INEC Commissioner in charge of voter education and information, Mr. Festus Okoye, who says the by-elections were postponed due to the outbreak of COVID-19. New dates for the polls will be communicated in due course, he says. The Bayelsa Central and Bayelsa West Senatorial District seats became vacant following the swearing-in of Senator Duye and Senator Lawrence Erujapo as Governor and Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State. That of Imo North Senatorial District is as a result of the death of Senator Benjamin Uwajumogu, and while for Plateau South Senatorial District, the death of Senator Lokjan Datong. Some more disruptions by COVID-19, this one on the National Assembly, as all public hearings in the Senate will no longer hold, as the upper chamber of the National Assembly announces that the suspension will take effect from Tuesday, March the 24th, until further notice. The lawmakers are also suspending excursions to the National Assembly, as well as shutting the Senate gallery again until further notice. The President of Senate, Ahmed Lawan, announced the measures at plenary yesterday. He, however, did not announce the suspension of plenary within the Senate chamber.
Also resolved to suspend all public hearings till further notice as a result of coronavirus COVID-19. In addition, the Senate gallery will remain closed to the public till further notice, including excursion from schools and organizations from Tuesday, 24th of March, 2020.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress is opposed to the federal government's recommended self-isolation practice for travellers from countries with a high coronavirus burden who have not developed symptoms at the point of entry. NLC President Mr. Yuba Waba, while speaking at a news conference in Abuja, asked the federal and state governments to set up well-equipped isolation centres across the country to quarantine any traveller from countries with over 1,000 cases of COVID-19. He says the current practice of allowing visitors from such countries to self-quarantine is counterproductive.
Businesses should not panic and take adversarial measures against workers. Although government is under pressure, it should put in place policies to mitigate businesses and social impact. The actions of government will be critical in containing COVID-19. We urge government at all levels to strengthen emergency response mechanism. States should set up disease surveillance activities. Persons arriving in Nigeria from countries with up to 1,000 cases of COVID-19 cases should be quarantined. And the issue of self-quarantine should actually be discouraged, because given our situation, it's not likely that people on their own will be quarantined. The advice to self-quarantine is counterproductive, given the socio-economic realities in Nigeria. The symptoms take an average of 5 days to manifest. On our part, we are ready to work with employers and government to ensure that workers get the needed support and employers a fair deal in those trying times. We should see COVID-19 pandemic as a challenge to revamp and reposition our healthcare facilities and system, and also extend solidarity to all the workers and employers.